中継地点は敵に確保されました。モビルスーツ隊の皆さん、順次発進をお願いします。
There have been dozens of Gundam games over the years since the anime was first adapted to this form of media, and as a fan, I've played a lot of them. One of those being the original mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation for PlayStation 3, a free-to-play title that focused around 6 vs 6 game modes. Quite frankly, that game was very emblematic of a certain kind of Japanese PS3 game, one of the janky variety that looked like an early PS2 title and was lackluster in most departments. Despite this, I created a new PSN account with a Hong Kong address in order to access the English version of that game. This outing felt very dated graphically, and the mobile suits had very stiff movement. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 was originally released on PS4 and has been updated and re-released for the PS5. So how does Battle Operation 2 hold up on this current gen? Honestly, not much has changed in the Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation series since its inception. When compared to the games that came before it, Battle Operation 2, including its previous release on PlayStation 4, don't do much to stand out or change the core concept for better and for worse. Gameplay and graphics are largely similar to the previous release on PS4, with some main differences being higher resolution textures on the mobile suits and a boost in overall resolution as well. Unfortunately, these additions do little to curb the ugliness of what they're being added to. The graphics, overwhelmingly, still look like a PS3 title featuring plenty of incredibly low resolution textures and plenty of popping as well. By far and away, the main attraction for Battle Operation 2 on PS5 is the increased frame rate and quicker loading times. Now targeting 60 frames per second, the game on PS5 features a higher and more stable frame rate over the previous PS4 incarnation. Additionally, adaptive triggers simulate pulling a real trigger, and the implementation is surprisingly good here. Of course, with this being a native PS5 title, the loading times are much reduced as well, and there are now space battles that are only available on the current gen version of this game. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 is a team-based game consisting of 5-on-5 or 6-on-6 battles. Battle Operation 2 has 4 different match modes, including Raiding, Quit, Custom, and Practice. In raiding matches, there are 4 different queues that rotate every 2 hours based on the game type, the deployment cost, and if combat will be on land or in space. You'll be matched with other players based on your rating, so you won't be playing against those that are experts if you're just starting out. In raiding matches, you can earn or lose rating points depending on how you and your team perform. Quick match is incredibly similar to raiding match, just without the rating, and features 2 queues instead of 4. Custom matches allow for players to tweak a match's settings to their liking. The host can create a private or public room and has a host of options to customize, such as mobile suit cost, player count, and maps, to name a few options. Finally, the last match type is practice. This of course lets a player try out new setups or get better acquainted with a mobile suit and its skill set. Additionally, there are 4 game modes available in Battle Operation 2. The first mode is Basic, which is the standard mode and is between 2 teams competing for points by destroying opposing mobile suits and capturing checkpoints that determine potential spawning locations. In Basic, you can destroy the other team's carrier to prevent them from healing, as well as calling fire support to capture checkpoints. Ace mode is similar to Basic mode, but there's no support fire available, and after the first few minutes, pilots with the highest points from their respective team become an ace and get 3 times the amount of points on destroying other mobile suits, and award 3 times the amount of points when they themselves are destroyed. Very similar to this is Target Shuffle, which shuffles through each player on both teams, giving them the 3 times multiplier. Lastly, Simple Battle is a mode only available during the weekend, and is the equivalent of a deathmatch mode found in other games, with quicker respawning and a more lenient deployment choice. Once you boot up Gundam Battle Operation 2, you are immediately put into a tutorial to learn the basic controls. Upon completing this, you'll find yourself in Base Camp. Base Camp serves as a hub and allows you to access the training instructor, as well as the supply and reward center, the former being where you redeem currencies for items and mobile suits, while the latter lets you get rewards for completing certain objectives. The sword encounter is where you choose your game mode and deploy into action. Being a free-to-play title, currency is the name of the game. DP is the main currency and is earned by completing missions, playing matches, and is awarded for logging in continuously and can be used to customize your mobile suits. Additionally, you have recycle tickets and tokens. Tokens are acquired the same way as DP and can also be earned from end-of-match supply crates. Tokens can be redeemed for supply drops, which can award random mobile suits and weapons. These can also be purchased, meaning you have a better chance of getting a higher tier mobile suit by spending real-world money. With that being said, the game truly favors skill over outright mobile suit performance, and a good, experienced player will almost always outclass a lesser opponent. Additionally, recycled tickets can be earned from getting duplicate items and can be used for purchases at the supply depot. Mobile suits are split up into 3 types: General, Raid, and Support. These 3 types share a relationship that is reminiscent of rock, paper, scissors, with the General being good against Support, Raid being good against General, and Support being good against Raid. The game features dozens of playable mobile suits from the Universal Century, with well-beloved units like the original Gundam, the new Gundam, and the Hyakushiki, to name a few. Additionally, the game pulls units from the overwhelming amount of UC Gundam media, including variations, side story mangas, and standalone photo novels like Gundam Sentinel. It's really nice to see such a wide selection of mobile suits from the Universal Century, as many Western Gundam fans are unaware of their existence due to the lack of translated media. The mobile suits are also separated by levels, with higher levels having increased stats, more slots for part expansion to increase attack, defense, and mobility, and better secondary weapons, but with a higher sortie cost. The most surprising aspect of Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 is the combat. The combat at first just looks like side-to-side twitching and shooting, but the more you play, the more you'll realize how wrong that is. The gameplay is surprisingly deep, and with the proper knowledge and timing, your mobility will be greatly enhanced compared to those you play against. Gameplay is quite nuanced, especially when you take the time to learn a mobile suit skill set and when best to utilize it. There are 3 damage states in Gundam Battle Operation 2. In their order of severity, we have flinching, staggering, and toppling. Flinching briefly stifles the mobile suit's ability to attack, while staggering prevents the mobile suit from moving or attacking for a short time. Toppling is the most severe damage state and occurs when the enemy is hit with a power melee attack. The enemy will fall backwards and be defenseless, and major damage can be inflicted. This is where the true strategy comes into play in Gundam Battle Operation 2, as making use of these damage states allow for a host of tactics, such as attacking, regrouping, or just plain running away. While this was just a brief overview of the states, they are quite deep, and afflicting them depends on a variety of factors, such as weapon type, modifier, and range. Tackling will make an enemy flinch, and makes you invulnerable for a while. Countering melee attacks and repositioning after you use a melee attack are also crucial techniques that will elevate your game. There's an invincible emergency evasion that uses all of your thruster, which will almost always get you out of the trouble you find yourself in. Baiting and exploiting your enemy's weakness, or lack of teammates in the area, is key in gaining the upper hand. And if things get too tough, you can just bail out and make do on foot. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 for PS5 isn't necessarily a large improvement overall from the last gen version, with the only notable enhancements being an increase in frame rate and reduced loading times. With that being said, given that this is a free-to-play title, playing on the PS5 is undoubtedly the best experience. Given the surprisingly deep combat mechanics, this may be well worth checking out for those of you who want a team-based action game that differs from the norm. If you like this video, consider subscribing and checking back weekly for more content just like this.